Okay, I'm in the middle of moving. You can see boxes behind me. I'm like unpacking things, and the apartment that I'm in is kind of a mess. And I haven't blogged for a few days, but I needed to respond to this series of videos that you put out about how immobile we seem to be as a society in this time of war. When something is going on that we so disagree with, there's only 23% or 24% of the population that even supports George Bush right now. The rest of us absolutely hate him, think he's doing a terrible job, want him out of office, want out of Iraq, want the Congress to pull out of Iraq, and the Congress is doing nothing. Our government is not listening to us. And now, on top of not listening to us, with so few months left in his presidency, he has the audacity to consider going into another country in the Middle East, Iran, and starting a whole mess there right before he steps out of office into what? Retirement? Comfortable retirement? Where he gets to go hang out on his ranch and golf while he leaves the rest of the country dealing with the shit that he left us with? You know? The man is wrong, bad. The government is not doing the right thing for the people. Obviously, our reliance on oil has got to end. And there are so many things that need to change. Now, we cannot go to a state where there is no government. I know that you believe that government and organizations just breed corruption and power, but a lack of them also breed corruption and power. The problem is that as long as there have been human beings on the planet, there are always human beings who want, need, and desire and take power over other people. Police officers are a good example of this. I mean, they are undereducated for their jobs. They many of them do not go into police work to protect and serve the public. Instead, they go in because they are hypercritical of other human beings, and so they go into the field simply because they get to pull people over, ride in a car with the siren on it, and carry a gun and a stick, and get to abuse power. And so there are problems, but cutting, it's like those Greek monsters. As long as the monster is alive, if you cut off its head, it's just going to grow two more. There's always people in line waiting to be the next people in power, meaning that, if you started a massive movement of violence against people in authority, there's always other people in authority waiting to take power. That's kind of what you experience in Iraq with the chaos there, is that, you cut off the head of one dictator basically by hanging him, and now you've got, how many other little mini dictators trying to take power that are fighting and creating chaos and setting up for a civil war situation in Iraq. You can't do that. That doesn't work. It's ineffective. What is effective and what we do know, these are the things that we do know. We do know that what we're doing is not working. What we're doing is, in fact, destroying the planet and possibly destroying the ability for the planet to sustain our form of life at all, at least until we're all gone. We have dirtied the petri dish, you might say, and the experiment is going to fail. If we keep on doing what we're doing, the experiment is going to fail. And that is something that we can see coming, and we can either do something about it, or we can just be idiots and wipe ourselves out through viruses that will breed that we are not prepared to deal with, through all of these different things. These are things that could happen to us. This video is getting rather long. What I want to say is there are people who have absolutely changed the powers that be by methods that had nothing to do with uncivil disobedience. I believe in civil disobedience. I believe in peaceful disobedience. I believe in changing things by direct action, but that direct action has to be peaceful. If not, What you do is you feed the monster. The monster is a violent society. If you react to a violent society with violence, what you get is a military state. And in other words, the government is always going to have a bigger fist to hit back with. And the only way to disarm that fist, I believe, is by peaceful protest and demonstration. And we have to not be silent. And we have to risk something. We cannot remain silent and not risk anything if we want things to change. And I do want things to change, and I believe that you do want things to change. But you've got to make a plan that will actually work. And you're not going to have a plan that actually works if it has anything to do with violence against people. So think about this. The thing that we need to do for this administration is hit back at the very heart of the administration. The heart of the administration beats with and pumps oil. If you want to hit back at oil, how do you do that? That's what you need to think about. How do you hit back at oil? And not in a small way, not in a singular way, not in a tiny car by car way. How do you make people, motivate people to stop using oil? We need to stop using oil. It's poisoning the planet. It's non-renewable, and it's getting to where it's ridiculously expensive. We need to boycott. We need to all park our cars. We need to all refuse to go to work. We need to say to our bosses, it's possible to telecommute everything that I do, and I'm doing that out of protest for using any oil. And what are employers going to do but immediately work to set up telecommuting possibilities so commuting is not necessary? They will simply say, well, if we can't get people to work, then maybe even if big employers sent out small buses to pick up their employees if they wanted them in, and set up so that the employees could telecommute part of their jobs on those buses, so that as soon as they got picked up in the morning, they could begin work. They could have a bus route like a school bus, and that would save all of the cars, all of the commuting, and it would be picking up people right at their residence so they wouldn't lose any convenience. It would get employees to work on time because they wouldn't have the late or the sick days used the same way. There are solutions that will work. There are solutions that are possible. They could even be electric buses or clean burning buses that pick the people up. And all of those solutions, if those solutions were implemented in some way, that would work. That would begin to work to hit at the oil pocketbooks that are causing this war. There are solutions, and we need to talk about them. That's what we need to do.